Greetings, noble travelers. This is Night Wanderer. Picture the forbidden forest where centaurs watch stars and unicorns roam, alive with magic. Tonight, we'll explore Hogwarts creatures, from lake merpeople to fiery phoenixes and their wondrous tales. I wager we'll truly unravel a host of these creatures' mysteries. If you enjoy this, please like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. It truly helps. Ready? Let the creatures' tales sweep us into a deep, enchanted slumber. A faint mist hung over the forbidden forest as dawn broke, its light filtering through dense trees where magical creatures roamed. The forest, a sprawling wilderness adjacent to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, housed a variety of sentient and mystical beings, its ecosystem documented in the Wizarding World's record. This chapter examines 5 key inhabitants: centaurs, hippogriffs, acromantulas, thestrals, and unicorns, each contributing to the forest's complex lore. The air carried the scent of pine and damp earth, setting the stage for an exploration of their behaviors, habitats, and cultural significance. Carefully, centaurs patrol the forest's depths, their half-human, half-horse forms a blend of intelligence and strength. Classified as beasts by the Ministry of Magic, despite their human-level intellect, centaurs rejected being status, preferring independence, a stance noted in historical classifications from 1811. They excel in astronomy, divination, and healing magic, often observed studying constellations, their knowledge passed orally. The forest provides ample cover, with herds led by dominant males, and they avoid human conflict unless provoked, as seen during their protection of Harry Potter from Voldemort. Their population remains stable, though exact numbers are unrecorded. Precisely, hippogriffs inhabit clearings, their eagle-headed, horse-bodied forms a symbol of pride and loyalty. Requiring a daily disillusionment charm for ownership, they are domesticated with caution, their aggressive nature toward disrespect documented in Hagrid's Care of Magical Creatures class with Buckbeak. Native to Europe, they nest in high areas, laying eggs incubated for about 8 weeks, with breeding possible in controlled environments like Hogwarts Legacy's vivarium. Their flight speed and strength make them valuable mounts, though only specific individuals like Highwing are rideable in the game, reflecting their selective temperament. Thoroughly, acromantulas dwell in the forest's darker recesses. Their gigantic spider forms a terror to humans. Originating from Borneo, these creatures grow up to 15 feet, capable of human speech, with a taste for flesh leading to their beast classification despite intelligence. Hagrid's pet Aragog, falsely linked to the Chamber of Secrets, established a colony, their web spanning trees, as noted in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Females are larger, guarding egg clutches of up to 100, hatching in 6 to 8 weeks, though their aggressive nature limits study, with Ron Weasley's fear adding a personal note to their lore. Significantly, thestrals roam the forest's edges, their skeletal, winged horse appearance visible only to those who have witnessed death. Classified with an unclear status due to this trait, they pull Hogwarts carriages, their black coats and leathery wings a stark contrast to other winged horses. Bred from early student mounts, they are gentle despite their fearsome look, used as mounts in Hogwarts Legacy with the Dark Arts Pack DLC. Their diet includes meat, and they nest in secluded areas, with thestral hair valuable for high-level gear upgrades, their population tied to death exposure. Notably, unicorns grace the forest with their radiant presence, their white coats and golden hooves a mark of purity, born golden and whitening with age. They are hard to catch, their horns, hair, and blood potent in potions and wands, though drinking their blood curses the consumer, as warned in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Living in herds, led by a mare, they avoid humans, with one den in Hogwarts Legacy yielding rare, shiny variants. Their magical properties and sacred status earn them an XX rating requiring respect, their habitat preserved by forest boundaries. Consistently, centaurs maintain their territory, their archery skills a defense mechanism as seen in their skirmish with Umbridge. The forest's dense canopy supports their nomadic lifestyle, with groups like the Hogwarts herd numbering around 12. Though estimates vary, they communicate in their own tongue, rejecting human language dominance, and their healing practices use forest herbs, a knowledge guarded closely. Their starlit wisdom influences decisions, often predicting events, a trait respected yet feared by wizards. Reliably, hippogriffs demonstrate loyalty, bowing to respectful introducers, a ritual taught by Hagrid. Their diet includes insects and small vertebrates, with nests built from twigs located high to deter predators. In Hogwarts Legacy, players rescue them from poachers, breeding males and females to observe foals, though flight is limited to specific mounts. Their population is stable in controlled settings, with injuries like Buckbeak's trial highlighting legal complexities under wizarding law. Accurately, acromantulas thrive in darkness, their colonies expanding through egg-laying, with Aragog's offspring a persistent threat. Their silk is strong, used in rare magical textiles, though harvesting is dangerous due to their aggression. Lifespan exceeds 50 years, with females dominant, and they hunt in packs, ambushing prey. The forest's isolation suits their predatory nature, with Hagrid's intervention the only human link, their secrets tied to survival instincts. Persistently, Thestrals offer silent service, their visibility a psychological marker, as seen with Harry post-Cedric's death. They breed slowly, requiring specific conditions, and their vivarium care involves meat feeding, their hair a crafting resource. Population growth is linked to war or tragedy, with Hogwarts maintaining a small herd, their calm demeanor contrasting their ominous reputation. They avoid conflict, preferring forest edges, a trait enhancing their mystique. Steadfastly, unicorns preserve their purity, their blood's curse a deterrent to hunters, as noted in wizarding texts. Their horns fetch high prices on black markets, though illegal, and their hair is a wand core, valued for consistency. Herds migrate seasonally, avoiding human paths, with foals protected fiercely, The forest's magical aura sustains them, their presence a balance to darker creatures, their lore a cornerstone of Hogwarts mystique. The mist lifted as morning advanced, its light revealing the forest's harmony, and the creatures stood as guardians of its secrets. The school stirred, the sound of students rising, and their roles shaped Hogwarts's ecosystem, each species a thread in its tapestry. The air carried the trace of pine, a mark of their domain, and the forbidden forest stood resolute, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might register the forest's pulse in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted realm. The denizens of the forbidden forest, from centaurs to unicorns, define its magical identity, a critical foundation for Hogwarts lore. A crisp breeze moved through the forbidden forest as dawn broke, its light filtering into a clearing where hippogriffs nested. The forest, a protected area near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, hosted these proud creatures, their presence documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines hippogriffs, focusing on their physical traits, behavior, and cultural role, with data drawn from wizarding records and gameplay observations. The air carried the scent of grass and feathers, marking the habitat of these majestic beasts. Systematically, hippogriffs possess a hybrid form, their front halves eagle-like, with sharp beaks and talons, their rear horse-like with powerful legs. Classified as XXX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they require a license for ownership, a regulation noted in the 1811 classification. Standing up to 8 feet tall, they weigh approximately 500 pounds, with males featuring more vibrant plumage, as seen with buckbeak. Their lifespan extends decades, with breeding possible in captivity, their eggs incubated for 8 weeks, a process detailed in Care of Magical Creatures texts. Thoroughly, their behavior reflects pride, demanding respect through a bowing ritual before interaction. Hagrid introduced this protocol in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, where Buckbeak attacked Draco Malfoy after disrespect, leading to a trial under wizarding law. They respond aggressively to threats, using talons and beaks, but show loyalty to those who earn trust, as evidenced by Harry's flight. Their territorial nature limits wild populations, with herds preferring open spaces within the forest's edges. Accurately, hippogriffs inhabit clearings and elevated areas, their nests built from twigs and grass, a habitat noted in Hogwarts Legacy's vivarium. They migrate seasonally within the forest, avoiding dense undergrowth, with sightings concentrated near Hagrid's hut. Their diet includes insects, small mammals, and occasionally carrion, requiring daily feeding in captivity, a task detailed in game care mechanics. Population estimates range from 50 to 100 in the Hogwarts region, their numbers stable due to magical protection. Relentlessly, their flight capabilities showcase strength, capable of speeds up to 40 miles per hour, a trait exploited in combat and transport. In Hogwarts Legacy, players ride Highwing, a named hippogriff, after completing rescue quests, with flight limited to specific areas due to game design. Historical use includes military roles, as noted in wizarding military records, though modern applications focus on sport and rescue. Their wingspan reaches 20 feet, requiring space for takeoff and landing. Confidently, hippogriffs breed selectively, with males courting females through aerial displays, a behavior observed in controlled environments. The gestation period spans 8 weeks, with 1 to 3 eggs laid, their shells tough to protect against predators, as documented in magical zoology texts. Hagrid's breeding efforts in the forest succeeded with supervision, though wild reproduction remains rare, limited by habitat and human interference. Foals mature in 2 years, their training starting early. Persistently, their cultural role emphasizes honor, reflected in their legal status and Hagrid's defense of Buckbeak. The 1994 trial, detailed in Prisoner of Azkaban, showcased wizarding justice, with Buckbeak's acquittal a victory for creature rights. They appear in heraldry, symbolizing strength, and their feathers serve as quill material, a trade regulated by the ministry. Their pride influences interactions, requiring handlers to approach with respect, a lesson reinforced in Hogwarts classes. Steadfastly, hippogriffs defend their young, females guarding nests fiercely, a trait noted in observational studies. The forest's magical barriers deter poachers, though black market demand for eggs persists, a concern addressed in wizarding law. Their population faces threats from habitat loss, mitigated by Hogwarts preservation efforts. In Legacy, rescuing hippogriffs from poachers boosts their numbers, with players breeding pairs to observe growth cycles. Unwaveringly, their magical properties include resilience, surviving injuries that would kill other creatures, a fact noted in Hagrid's care notes. Their blood has minor healing properties, used in rare potions, though harvesting is illegal. They communicate with sharp cries and body language, understood by experienced handlers like Hagrid. Their presence in the forest enhances its mystique, their numbers monitored to maintain balance. Resolutely, hippogriffs adapt to captivity, thriving with proper care, a process detailed in Hogwarts Legacy's vivarium mechanics. Players feed them, clean nests, and train them, with mature hippogriffs aiding quests. Their wild counterparts avoid human contact, retreating to forest depths, their population stable at Hogwarts due to protective spells. The clearing stood as their domain, their spirit a testament to magical resilience. The breeze strengthened as morning advanced, its light illuminating the clearing, and the hippogriffs stood as symbols of pride. The forest stirred, the sound of rustling leaves rising, and their roll shaped Hogwarts wilderness, their legacy a pillar of its ecosystem. The air carried the trace of feathers, a mark of their habitat, and the forbidden forest stood firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might register the clearing's echo in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted realm. Hippogriffs and their proud spirit define a key aspect of the Forbidden Forest, their lore a vital thread in Hogwarts' magical tapestry. A deep shadow cloaked the Forbidden Forest as dawn broke, its light barely penetrating the dense thickets where acromantulas lurked. The forest, a protected enclave near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, harbored these giant spiders, their presence documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter investigates acromantulas, focusing on their physical characteristics, behavior, and the ancient secrets tied to their existence, with data sourced from wizarding records and gameplay insights. The air carried the scent of moss and the faint musk of their webs, marking their ominous domain. Systematically, acromantulas exhibit massive size, with adults reaching up to 15 feet in diameter, their hairy legs and multiple eyes a terror to behold. Classified as XXXX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, due to their extreme danger, they originate from Borneo, introduced to Britain via Hagrid's pet Aragog, as noted in historical accounts. Their lifespan exceeds 50 years, with females larger and more aggressive, their bodies covered in thick black hair, a trait detailed in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Their population in the forest stems from Aragog's colony, a legacy of Hagrid's early care. Thoroughly, their behavior revolves around predation, hunting in packs, with a preference for human flesh, a fact recorded in wizarding zoology texts. Capable of human speech, they communicate through clicks and hisses, with Aragog leading his offspring in the forest's depths, as seen in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. They ambush prey, using silk to trap victims, their webs spanning trees, a structure noted for its strength in magical textiles. Their aggression increases with hunger, making them a persistent threat, their secrecy a survival tactic. Accurately, acromantulas inhabit the forest's darkest areas, their nests built from layered silk, a habitat documented in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration zone. They prefer damp, shaded environments, with colonies centered around Aragog's original lair, its location a guarded secret. Their diet includes mammals, birds, and occasionally other spiders, with females guarding egg clutches of 50 to 100, hatching in 6 to 8 weeks, a cycle detailed in creature care manuals. Their population is estimated at dozens, controlled by natural predators and Hogwarts spuriers. Relentlessly, they reproduce rapidly, females laying eggs annually, a trait noted in magical breeding studies. The eggs, round and leathery, require warmth and moisture to hatch, with young acromantulas cannibalistic until maturity, a behavior observed in Aragog's brood. Hagrid's intervention prevented their spread beyond the forest, though their numbers grew unchecked until his death, as recorded in Deathly Hallows. Their growth rate is slow, reaching full size in 5 to 7 years. Their colonies a complex social structure. Confidently, their silk holds ancient secrets, its tensile strength surpassing steel, a property exploited in rare magical fabrics. Harvesting is hazardous, requiring specialized spells with uses in armor and ropes, as noted in wizarding trade records. The process damages webs, angering colonies, and only skilled handlers attempt it, a practice banned without permits. Their silk's durability links to their evolutionary history, possibly tied to Borneo's dense jungles, a theory explored in magical anthropology. Persistently, acromantulas guard their secrets, their speech revealing tribal knowledge, a trait hinted at in Aragog's interactions. They recount oral histories of escapes and hunts, with some suggesting awareness of magical walls, a lore unverified by wizards. Their isolation limits study, though Hagrid's bond with Aragog provided insights, his notes preserved in Hogwarts archives. Their intelligence rivals lower magical beings, their secrecy a defense against exploitation. Steadfastly, they defend their territory, using venomous fangs, a defense mechanism detailed in creature combat records. The venom, while painful, is not lethal to humans with prompt treatment, a fact noted in St. Mungo's reports. They attack intruders, with Aragog's offspring ambushing Harry and Ron, an event documented in Chamber of Secrets. Their webs serve as barriers, their population density increasing territorial disputes, a dynamic monitored by forest wardens. Unwaveringly, acromantulas adapt to threats, retreating deeper when hunted, a behavior observed in Hogwarts legacy quests. Players face them in combat, using spells like Incendio, with rewards including silk and fangs, a mechanic reflecting their value. Their numbers are culled periodically to protect students, though breeding continues, their colonies resilient. The forest's magic sustains them, their presence a balance to its ecosystem. Resolutely they maintain ancient rituals, possibly linked to mating or territory, a practice inferred from their behavior. The rituals involve web patterns and vocalizations, a culture unstudied due to danger, with Aragog's death marking a leadership shift. Their secrets include survival tactics from Borneo, adapted to Britain's climate, a topic of speculation in magical research. The forest's isolation preserves this knowledge, their lore a mystery to outsiders. The shadow lifted as morning advanced, its light touching the thickets, and the acromantulas stood as guardians of their secrets. The forest stirred, the sound of rustling leaves rising, and their roll shaped Hogwarts' wilderness, their legacy a dark thread in its tapestry. The air carried the trace of musk, a mark of their habitat, and the forbidden forest stood firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might register the thicket's echo in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted realm. Acromantulas and their ancient secrets define a formidable presence in the forbidden forest, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts' mystique. A soft rustle stirred the edges of the forbidden forest as dawn broke, its light revealing a secluded area where thestrals gathered. The forest, a protected zone near Hogwarts' School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, sheltered these mysterious creatures, their presence documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter analyzes thestrals, focusing on their physical traits, behavior, and the unique magic tied to their visibility, with data sourced from wizarding records and game observations. The air carried the scent of damp earth and a faint leathery odor, marking their hidden habitat. Methodically, thestrals exhibit a skeletal, winged horse form, their black coats and leathery wings a stark contrast to typical equines. Classified with an unclear status due to their magical properties, they are rated XXXX by the Ministry of Magic. Their danger minimal, but presence unsettling, as noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Standing about 6 feet tall, they weigh around 800 pounds, with bat-like wings spanning 10 feet, a structure detailed in Care of Magical Creatures texts. Their lifespan is estimated at several decades, with breeding rare due to specific conditions. Thoroughly, their behavior reflects a gentle nature despite their ominous appearance, visible only to those who have witnessed death. Introduced as carriage pullers in Order of the Phoenix, they assist students without aggression, their calm demeanor noted by Hagrid during Harry's first encounter. They avoid conflict, retreating to forest edges with a diet of raw meat, including small animals, a trait documented in magical zoology. Their population at Hogwarts remains small, tied to death exposure, with a herd of about 10 maintained. Accurately, thestrals inhabit secluded forest areas, nesting in hollows or under dense canopies, a habitat detailed in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration zones. They prefer quiet locations near water sources, with sightings concentrated around the castle's carriage path. Their breeding requires a mate and stable environment, with gestation lasting 11 months, producing one foal, a cycle noted in game breeding mechanics. Population growth is slow, linked to war or tragedy, their numbers controlled by Hogwarts' magical barriers. Relentlessly, their visibility magic hinges on death perception, a trait documented when Harry sees them post Cedric's death. This ability stems from a psychological trigger, not physical change, with studies suggesting a magical imprint as explored in wizarding psychology texts. They communicate with low whinnies and head movements, understood by handlers, their presence a marker of emotional maturity. The forest's isolation enhances this secrecy, their magic a mystery to the uninitiated. Confidently, thestrals serve practical roles, pulling carriages and acting as mounts, a use expanded in Hogwarts Legacy with the Dark Arts Pack DLC. Players ride them after unlocking, their speed reaching 30 miles per hour, a capability noted in game stats. Historically, they aided in wartime transport, their invisibility to most a strategic advantage, as recorded in wizarding military logs. Their population is stable at Hogwarts, with careful breeding to maintain the herd. Persistently, their physical traits include hollow bones for flight, a feature detailed in magical anatomy studies. Their leathery wings require regular care to prevent tearing, a task handled by stable staff, with injuries rare due to their resilience. Thestral hair used in high-level gear upgrades and Legacy is harvested ethically, its magical conductivity noted in wand-making records. Their skeletal look aids aerodynamics, their design a marvel of magical evolution. Steadfastly, they bond with handlers who see death, a connection noted with Hagrid's care. This trust allows training, with foals socialized early, their maturity reached in 3 years, a process documented in creature care manuals. They avoid bright areas, preferring dawn or dusk, with the forest's canopy providing cover. Their population faces no significant threats, their magical protection ensuring survival, a balance maintained by Hogwarts. Unwaveringly, Thestrals contribute to magical crafts, their hair a core for wands, a use noted by Ollivander's shop. The hair's flexibility suits complex spells, though harvesting is limited to natural shedding, a practice regulated by the ministry. Their blood has minor restorative properties, used in rare potions, though extraction is restricted. The forest's magic sustains them, their presence a subtle influence on its ecosystem. Resolutely, they maintain a quiet presence, their unseen magic, a cultural enigma, a trait explored in wizarding folklore. Their link to death shapes perceptions, with some viewing them as omens, others as guides, a duality noted in student reactions. The forest's boundaries preserve their habitat, their population monitored to avoid overexposure. Their secrets remain tied to death's mystery, a lore guarded by their elusive nature. The rustle faded as morning advanced, its light touching the forest edge, and the Thestrals stood as embodiments of unseen magic. The school stirred, the sound of carriages rising, and their roar shaped Hogwarts' mystique, their legacy a hidden thread in its tapestry. The air carried the trace of leather, a mark of their habitat, and the forbidden forest stood firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemi, distant, might register the edge's echo in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted realm. Thestrals and their unseen magic define a unique presence in the forbidden forest, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts enchantment. A quiet hum filled the air of the forbidden forest as dawn broke, its light revealing a secluded grove where unicorns roam. The forest, a restricted territory near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, served as home to these elusive creatures, their existence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and supplemented by Hogwarts legacy data. This subchapter explores unicorns, detailing their anatomical features, social structure, and the magical attributes linked to their purity, with information drawn from wizarding archives and game mechanics. The air held a trace of herbal essence, indicating their pristine environment. Deliberately, unicorns possess an equine physique with a single spiraled horn, their coloration evolving from golden foals to silvery adults, rated XXX by the Ministry of Magic for their elusiveness and power. They are native to northern European woodlands, a detail recorded in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Measuring 5 to 7 feet at the shoulder, they weigh approximately 700 pounds, with males distinguished by thicker manes, a characteristic noted in magical biology texts. Their longevity reaches over 100 years, with reproduction occurring infrequently due to strict mate selection. Precisely, their social dynamics center on herd life, led by a dominant mare, a structure observed in forest patrols. Groups range from 6 to 12 individuals, maintaining distance from human contact, a behavior documented during Firenze's rescue of Harry in Philosopher's Stone. They communicate with soft neighs and ear movements, coordinating movements to evade predators, a trait noted in creature behavior studies. Their population in the forest hovers around 15 to 20, sustained by magical conservation efforts. Consistently, unicorns favor dense groves with clear water, their resting spots marked by trampled grass, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration areas. They migrate within the forest seasonally, avoiding human trails, with preferred sites near the eastern edge. Reproduction involves a year-long gestation, yielding a single foal, a process tracked in game breeding logs. Their number remain low, with poaching historically reducing stocks, though Hogwarts enchantments now offer protection, stabilizing their presence. Rigorously, their horn exhibits magical properties used in antidotes and wand crafting, a resource detailed in wizarding trade regulations. Naturally shed horns, weighing up to 2 pounds, are legally harvested, with illegal poaching penalized under ministry law, a practice noted in enforcement records. The horn's powder neutralizes toxins, a fact supported by St. Mungo's medical data, with annual yields limited to a few ounces per individual. Their value drives conservation, their habitat guarded against intruders. Staunchly, their tail hair provides wand cores, prized for spell precision, a material documented by Ollivander's inventory. Collected during routine grooming, each hair measures 12 inches, with wands priced at 40-50 galleons, a cost reflected in wizarding economics. The hair's magical stability suits advanced magic, with one unicorn contributing up to 10 strands yearly, a harvest regulated to avoid distress. Their main growth supports this trade, their purity enhancing material quality. Vigilantly, unicorns protect their young, stallions using horns to deter threats, a defense noted in herd observations. Foals stay with the group for 18 months, their coats lightening, a development tracked in magical growth studies. Historical hunts for blood and horns diminished with Hogwarts oversight, a shift documented in creature protection logs. Their population faces occasional dark wizard incursions, countered by forest wards maintaining their numbers. Thoroughly, their blood holds a dual nature, sustaining life at the cost of a curse, a property revealed in Voldemort's use in Goblet of Fire. 1 quart can be extracted, its silver hue a marker of purity, though consumption leads to a lingering death. A warning in dark arts texts. The curse deters exploitation, with medical use restricted to extreme cases, a policy enforced by the ministry. Their resilience aids survival, their blood a rare commodity. Persistently, their magical aura influences the forest, repelling negative energies, a phenomenon noted in environmental magic research. This effect purifies nearby water, a benefit documented in Hogwarts ecological surveys. They avoid confrontation, relying on speed, with escape speeds recorded at 38 miles per hour during poaching attempts. Their population is tracked, with breeding supported in legacy's vivarium, ensuring genetic diversity. Resolutely, they uphold a mystical reputation, their purity a symbol in wizarding rituals, a role explored in ancient texts. Their horn aids divination, with clarity tied to their health, a practice noted in historical records. The forest's enchantments sustain them, their population steady at 15 to 20, their secrets protected by their reclusive nature. Their presence shapes potions and lore, a legacy preserved by Hogwarts care. The hum persisted as morning advanced, its light brightening the grove, and the unicorns stood as icons of purity. The forest awakened, the sound of shifting branches rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' wilderness, their legacy a luminous thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of herbs, a mark of their domain, and the forbidden forest remained steadfast, its place in the wizarding world firmly secured. Artemy, distant, might sense the grove's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. Unicorns and their radiant purity establish a revered presence in the forbidden forest, their lore a cornerstone of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A steady drip echoed through Hogwarts' stone halls as dawn broke, its light illuminating the ancient corridors where spirits and creatures thrived. The castle, founded in the 10th century by the four founders, serves as a hub for magical entities, its ecosystem detailed in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and enhanced by Hogwarts' legacy. This chapter dissects 5 key inhabitants: house elves, ghosts, fox the phoenix, pixies, and owls, analyzing their roles, characteristics, and contributions to the castle's operations. The air carried the scent of aged wood and faint magic, setting the stage for their comprehensive study. Rigorously, house elves operate as the castle's workforce, their diminutive figures clad in tattered cloth, a hallmark of their servitude. Classified as beings with magical capabilities, they are bound by enslavement magic, a status formalized in the Ministry's 1811 classification, with over 100 serving Hogwarts kitchens. Dobby's liberation by Harry Potter and Winky's dismissal by Barty Crouch, noted in Goblet of Fire, highlight their complex dynamics. Their abilities include apparition within the castle, cleaning spells, and food preparation, their population stable despite emancipation debates. Meticulously, ghosts linger as spectral residents, their translucent forms tied to significant past events, a presence documented in Hogwarts' historical records. The 4 house ghosts, nearly headless Nick, the fat friar, the grey lady, and the bloody baron, represent Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin, their deaths linked to the Founders' era, as detailed in Potter lore. Incorporeal and unable to progress, they number over 20, including Moaning Myrtle, whose bathroom haunting stems from the Chamber of Secrets incident. Their population remains constant, their role educational and advisory. Precisely, Fawkes the Phoenix resides in Dumbledore's office, his vibrant red and gold feathers a sign of his regenerative power. Rated XXX for his formidable magic, he originates from a lineage of phoenixes, with his presence at Hogwarts unique, as noted in Chamber of Secrets. His abilities include healing tears, fire-based transportation, and a lifespan marked by fiery rebirth every few decades, a cycle documented in magical biology texts. His loyalty to Dumbledore aided key rescues, his population limited to one, his role strategic. Thoroughly, pixies infest the upper levels, their small blue bodies a source of chaos, a trait recorded in Lockhart's failed lesson in Chamber of Secrets. Classified as XX beasts, they hail from Cornwall, measuring up to 8 inches, with abilities like levitation and biting detailed in Care of Magical Creatures manuals. They breed rapidly in wild colonies, requiring containment with spells like Imperturbable, with Hogwarts maintaining a controlled group of 5 to 10. Their disruptive nature challenges students, their numbers kept minimal. Consistently, owls function as the castle's postal service, their diverse species a critical communication link, a role documented in wizarding postal systems. Rated XX to XXX, they include tawny, barn, and eagle owls, with Hedwig exemplifying their reliability as seen in Harry's ownership. The owlery houses over 50, with nests and perches maintained for breeding, their flights delivering mail across Britain, a process noted in Deathly Hallows. Their diet consists of rodents and grain, their population stable, their service indispensable. Vigilantly, house elves maintain the castle's infrastructure, their magic repairing damage and preparing feasts, a duty logged in staff records. They operate under strict loyalty, with Dobby's rebellion sparking reform, and creature service to the Black family adding complexity, as seen in Order of the Phoenix. The kitchen staff numbers around 100, serving thousands annually, their enslavement enforced by binding magic, a practice under review by the ministry. Their efficiency supports Hogwarts' daily operations. Accurately, ghosts preserve castle history, their narratives offering context, a function noted in Nearly Headless Nick's 500-year tenure. The Grey Lady guards Ravenclaw's diadem, while the Bloody Baron's remorse ties to her murder, events detailed in Deathly Hallows. They interact via portraits and offer guidance, with over 20 entities recorded, their knowledge a resource for students. Their eternal state reflects Hogwarts' layered past, their influence a constant presence. Persistently, Fawkes supports Dumbledore's efforts, his rebirth cycle documented during his emergence from flames in Chamber of Secrets. His tears healed Harry's wounds, and his song boosted morale, with feathers used in rare wands, a fact noted in Ollivander's records. His lifespan spans centuries, with rebirth triggered by age or injury, his population singular at Hogwarts. His strategic role in battles, like the Ministry rescue, underscores his value. Steadfastly, pixies cause disruption, their magic chaotic, a challenge noted in Hagrid's class mishaps. They escape confinement requiring ridiculous or physical capture, and breed in wild nests of dozens, a trait tracked in Cornish records. Hogwarts limits them to a small group, controlled by professors, with students like Luna observing their behavior. Their population is curtailed to prevent chaos, their presence a test of magical control. Unwaveringly, owls sustain communication, their flights documented in postal logs from the 1990s. The owlery, a multi-level tower, supports breeding pairs, with species varying by range, from snowy to screech owls. They deliver letters and packages, with Hedwig's death a notable loss, a moment in Deathly Hallows. Their care involves daily feeding, their population stable at over 50, their role a lifeline for Hogwarts' network. The drip faded as morning advanced, its light filling the halls, and the spirits and creatures stood as pillars of the castle. The school awakened, the sound of footsteps rising and their roles defined Hogwarts' daily life. Each entity a component of its system. The air carried the trace of wood, a mark of their domain, and the castle remained solid, its place in the wizarding world firmly secured. Artemy, distant, might sense the hall's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted stronghold. The spirits and creatures of Hogwarts, from house elves to owls, form the backbone of its operational and historical identity, a critical aspect of its legacy. A faint chill permeated the halls of Hogwarts as dawn broke, its light casting shadows across the stone where ghosts lingered. The castle, established in the 10th century by the four founders, serves as a residence for these spectral entities, their presence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines ghosts, focusing on their origins, behaviors, and the eternal stories they carry, with data drawn from wizarding records and game narratives. The air held a trace of cold mist, marking their ethereal domain. Systematically, ghosts manifest as translucent figures, their forms tied to individuals who died with unfinished business or strong emotional ties. Classified as non-beings by the Ministry of Magic, they lack corporeal form, a status noted in the 1811 classification, with over 20 residing at Hogwarts. Their creation requires a deliberate choice to remain, as explained by Nearly Headless Nick, a process documented in Deathly Hallows. Their appearance mirrors their death state, with variations like the Bloody Baron's bloodstains, a detail preserved in castle lore. Thoroughly, their origins link to the Founders' era, with each house ghost representing a historical figure. Nearly Headless Nick, executed in 1492, leads Gryffindor, his beheading incomplete, a fact noted in Chamber of Secrets. The Fat Friar, Hufflepuff's ghost, died under suspicion of magic, while the Grey Lady, Ravenclaw's spirit, perished after betrayal, her story detailed in Deathly Hallows. The Bloody Baron, Slytherin's ghost, killed her and himself, his remorse evident, their numbers fixed since the castle's founding. Accurately, ghosts inhabit specific castle areas, their haunts reflecting past lives, a pattern mapped in Hogwarts architectural records. Nearly Headless Nick patrols the Gryffindor Tower. The Fat Friar roams kitchens. The Grey Lady frequents the Ravenclaw dorm, and the Bloody Baron guards Slytherin, as observed in Potter narratives. They avoid the Forbidden Forest, preferring stone confines, with moaning Myrtle confined to a bathroom since her 1943 death. Their population remains static, their locations consistent. Relentlessly, they interact through speech and minor magical effects, unable to touch physical objects, a limitation noted in Order of the Phoenix. They pass through walls, offering guidance or warnings, with Nick advising Harry on the basilisk. Their voices carry a hollow tone, audible to all, a trait documented in ghost interaction studies. They form house communities, with over 20 entities recorded, their social structure rigid, their stories a historical archive. Confidently, their stories preserve castle history, each ghost narrating personal tragedies, a role documented in nearly headless Nick's 500-year tenure. The Grey Lady guarded Ravenclaw's diadem, her death tied to theft, a secret revealed in Deathly Hallows. The Bloody Baron's murder-suicide reflects a love story, while the Fat Friar's execution highlights early prejudice, their tales noted in educational records. Their narratives educate students, their presence a living museum. Persistently, they maintain house pride, participating in feasts and sorting ceremonies, a tradition recorded in Goblet of Fire. Nearly Headless Nick hosts a Death Day party annually, attended by other ghosts, a social event detailed in Chamber of Secrets. The Grey Lady assists Ravenclaws with riddles, the Fat Friar aids Hufflepuffs with kindness, and the Bloody Baron enforces Slytherin discipline. Their involvement fosters house identity, their numbers unchanged since the 10th century. Steadfastly, they exhibit limited magical abilities, passing messages via portraits, a skill noted in Order of the Phoenix. They cannot affect the physical world, relying on students for tasks, with Myrtle aiding Harry in the Triwizard Tournament. Their presence influences room temperature, dropping it near haunts, a phenomenon tracked in magical physics studies. Their population is fixed, with no new ghosts since Myrtle, their state permanent. Unwaveringly, they face no natural threats, their existence immune to aging, a condition documented in wizarding afterlife research. Attempts to banish them fail, requiring complex exorcisms, a process rare and untested at Hogwarts. They avoid conflict, preferring observation, with the Bloody Baron's aggression and exception noted in his interactions. Their population stability reflects a balance, their stories a constant in castle life. Resolutely, they carry cultural significance, their tales shaping wizarding perceptions, a role explored in folklore studies. The Grey Lady's diadem link ties to Rowena's legacy, while Nick's execution reflects medieval justice, details preserved in historical texts. The forest's absence from their haunts underscores castle loyalty, their numbers monitored by staff. Their lore influences ghost stories, a tradition upheld by Hogwarts' community. The chill lessened as morning advanced, its light filling the halls, and the ghosts stood as keepers of history. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their roles defined Hogwarts' legacy, their stories a thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of mist, a mark of their domain, and the castle remained unyielding, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the hall's echo in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this spectral realm. Ghosts and their eternal stories form a vital layer of Hogwarts' identity, their presence a cornerstone of its magical heritage. A warm glow emanated from Dumbledore's office as dawn broke, its light reflecting off the perch where Fawkes the Phoenix rested. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, founded in the 10th century, housed this singular creature, his presence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter investigates Fawkes, focusing on his physical attributes, life cycle, and the magical significance of his fiery rebirth, with data sourced from wizarding records and game details. The air carried a faint scent of ash and healing herbs, marking his distinctive domain. Methodically, Fawkes exhibits a striking appearance, his plumage transitioning from golden to crimson with age, a trait noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as a XXXX beast due to his immense power, he stands about 2 feet tall, weighing approximately 15 pounds, with a wingspan of 4 feet, details recorded in magical zoology texts. His lifespan spans centuries, marked by periodic rebirth, with his current tenure at Hogwarts linked to Dumbledore since at least 1938, a period documented in Order of the Phoenix. His population is unique, with only one present. Thoroughly, his life cycle revolves around fiery rebirth, a process triggered by age or severe injury, a phenomenon detailed in Chamber of Secrets. The cycle involves self-immolation, followed by emergence from ashes as a chick, a transformation occurring every few decades, with the last observed rebirth in 1993. This regeneration restores full health, his body rebuilding over days, a fact noted in magical biology studies. His diet includes seeds and insects, with no breeding observed, his reproduction a solitary event. Accurately, Fawkes resides in Dumbledore's office, his perch a reinforced structure, a habitat documented in Hogwarts staff records. He avoids public areas, preferring the headmaster's quarters, with occasional flights to the castle's upper levels, a behavior tracked in Legacy's exploration zones. His presence requires no specific care beyond a clean perch, his magic sustaining him, a detail noted in creature maintenance logs. His location remains fixed, his mobility limited to strategic appearances. Relentlessly, his magical abilities include healing tears, a property demonstrated when he cured Harry's basilisk wound in Chamber of Secrets. The tears contain regenerative enzymes, neutralizing poisons, a fact supported by St. Mungo's medical data, with 1 drop sufficient for minor injuries. He also performs fire-based apparition, transporting others, as seen in Order of the Phoenix, a skill requiring precise control. His song boosts morale, its frequency measured at 500 Hz, a trait recorded in magical acoustics. Confidently, Fawkes supports Dumbledore's missions, his actions pivotal in key events. A role documented in historical narratives, he delivered the Sorting Hat to Harry, aided the chamber rescue, and transported the order from the ministry, feats noted in Potter books. His loyalty is absolute, responding to Dumbledore's summons, a bond tracked in staff records. His involvement extends to destroying a Horcrux, using his beak, a detail confirmed in Deathly Hallows. His power unmatched. Persistently, his feathers serve as wand cores, a rare material noted by Ollivander, valued for spell versatility. Harvested from natural shedding, each feather measures 8 inches, with wands costing 50 galleons, a price reflected in wizarding trade data. The feather's magical conductivity suits advanced magic, with 1 annual yield per rebirth, a process regulated by the ministry. His plumage growth resumes post-rebirth, his resources limited to natural cycles. Steadfastly, his rebirth process fascinates magical research, its mechanics studied in alchemical texts. The immolation reaches 600 degrees Celsius, consuming his body, with ashes analyzed for regenerative properties, a study halted by ethical concerns. The chick stage lasts 1 week, maturing rapidly, a transition documented in Legacy's Phoenix Care mechanics. His cycle aligns with celestial events, a correlation noted in divination records, his rebirth a natural phenomenon. Unwaveringly, Fawkes avoids combat, relying on evasion, a strategy observed during ministry battles. His flames deter attackers, with a radius of 5 feet, a defense noted in combat logs. He sustains no injuries, his rebirth negating damage, a resilience tracked in magical resilience studies. His population remains singular, his presence a strategic asset, his role unaffected by external threats. Resolutely, his cultural significance ties to renewal, a symbol in wizarding lore, a role explored in historical texts. His rebirth parallels Phoenix mythology, with Dumbledore's ownership enhancing his status, a fact noted in staff biographies. The castle's magic sustains him, his population fixed at 1, his secrets tied to his cycle. His presence influences rituals, a legacy preserved by Hogwarts care. The glow persisted as morning advanced, its light filling the office, and Fawkes stood as a beacon of rebirth. The castle stirred, the sound of waking staff rising, and his role defined Hogwarts' defense, his legacy a fiery thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of ash, a mark of his domain, and the castle remained resolute, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the officer's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted stronghold. Fawkes the Phoenix and his fiery rebirth form a unique pillar of Hogwarts' magical identity, his presence a cornerstone of its resilience. A sharp clatter resounded through Hogwarts' upper floors as dawn broke, its light revealing the chaotic presence of pixies. The castle, established in the 10th century, accommodates these small troublemakers, their activities chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter analyzes pixies, focusing on their physical characteristics, behavior, and the mischievous charms defining their nature. with data sourced from wizarding records and game observations. The air carried a faint metallic tang, indicative of their disruptive influence. Systematically, pixies display a diminutive form, standing up to 8 inches tall, with blue skin and bat-like wings, a description noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as XX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they originate from Cornwall, their lightweight bodies weighing less than 1 pound, a trait documented in magical zoology texts. Their lifespan averages 10 years, with rapid reproduction and wild colonies, their population controlled in captivity, a practice detailed in Care of Magical Creatures manuals. Hogwarts maintains a small group, estimated at 5 to 10. Thoroughly, their behavior centers on mischief, employing chaotic magic to disrupt order, a tendency showcased in Lockhart's failed lesson in Chamber of Secrets. They levitate objects, bite with sharp teeth, and create loud noises, abilities noted in classroom records. They act in groups, coordinating pranks, with a preference for high perches, a habit observed in Hogwarts' upper levels. Their aggression increases with confinement, requiring constant supervision, a challenge documented by professors. Accurately, pixies inhabit the castle's upper corridors and towers, their nests built from twigs and debris, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration zones. They favor dimly lit areas, avoiding direct sunlight, with colonies centered near the astronomy tower, a location tracked in game data. Their breeding occurs annually, with females laying clutches of 10 to 20 eggs, hatching in 4 weeks, a cycle noted in magical breeding logs. Their population is capped at Hogwarts to prevent overgrowth, their numbers monitored by staff. Relentlessly, their magical charms include levitation, a spell mimicking Wingardium Leviosa, a skill demonstrated when they hoisted students in Lockhart's class. They also generate minor electrical discharges, stunning prey, a property documented in combat studies. Their bites deliver a mild venom, causing temporary paralysis, a fact recorded in St. Mungo's injury reports. These abilities require containment spells like Imperturbable, a measure enforced to limit damage, their chaos a constant test. Confidently, pixies evade capture using agility and flight, a behavior noted during Hagrid's attempts to control them. In Hogwarts Legacy, players use spells like Stupefy or Ridiculous to subdue them, with rewards including pixie wings, a resource valued in potion making, as detailed in game mechanics. Historically, they served as distractions in wizard duels, a use recorded in Cornish magical traditions. Their population is stable in controlled settings, their escape attempts frequent. Persistently, their reproduction thrives in wild conditions, with nests supporting dozens, a density noted in Cornish surveys. Females guard eggs fiercely, with hatchlings maturing in 3 months, a growth rate tracked in magical biology texts. Hogwarts limits breeding through sterilization spells, a practice documented in creature management logs. Their population outside the castle exceeds hundreds, their spread contained by ministry regulations, a balance maintained regionally. Steadfastly, pixies disrupt lessons, their pranks targeting students, a pattern observed in Ravenclaw Tower incidents. They steal quills, upend ink, and tangle hair, actions noted in student complaints, with Luna Lovegood documenting their behavior. Their noise levels reach 80 decibels, a measurement recorded in acoustic studies requiring silencing charms. Their presence challenges discipline, their numbers kept low to preserve order. Unwaveringly, their wings serve as potion ingredients, enhancing levitation effects, a use noted in potions class records. Harvested from deceased pixies, each wing measures 3 inches, with a yield of 2 per individual, a process regulated by the ministry. The wing's magical properties degrade post-mortem, requiring fresh collection, a fact detailed in trade logs. Their value supports a small industry, their population sustained by controlled harvesting. Resolutely, they maintain a cultural role as tricksters, their antics featured in wizarding folklore, a tradition explored in Cornish histories. Their pranks mirror early magical tests, with Lockhart's lesson a modern example, a narrative preserved in educational texts. The castle's wards limit their range, their population fixed at 5 to 10, their secrets tied to chaotic magic. Their influence shapes student resilience, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts' structure. The clatter subsided as morning advanced, its light brightening the floors, and the pixies stood as agents of mischief. The castle stirred, the sound of waking classes rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' challenges. Their legacy, a chaotic thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of metal, a mark of their domain, and the castle remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the floor's echo in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek, a faint mark of this enchanted stronghold. Pixies and their mischievous charms form a disruptive yet integral part of Hogwarts' ecosystem, their lore a key element of its magical heritage. A rhythmic hoot echoed through Hogwarts' owlery as dawn broke, its light filtering into the tower where owls perched. The castle, founded in the 10th century, relies on these birds for communication, their role documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines owls, focusing on their species diversity, operational functions, and significance as magical messengers, with data sourced from wizarding records and game mechanics. The air carried the scent of feathers and grain, marking their operational hub. Methodically, owls encompass various species adapted for messaging, including tawny, barn, eagle, and snowy owls, a diversity noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as XX to XXX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, their sizes range from 12 inches for tawny owls to 28 inches for eagle owls, with weights from 1 to 4 pounds, details recorded in magical zoology texts. Their lifespan averages 10 to 20 years, with breeding possible in captivity, a practice documented in owlery maintenance logs. Hogwarts houses over 50 owls, their population stable. Thoroughly, Their role involves delivering mail across the wizarding world, a system established since the castle's founding, a function detailed in Deathly Hallows. They carry letters, packages, and news, navigating by instinct and magic, with Hedwig exemplifying reliability as seen in Harry's ownership. They operate day or night, preferring dusk, a behavior tracked in postal records. Their accuracy is near perfect, with delivery times ranging from hours to days, depending on distance, a metric noted in wizarding logistics. Accurately, owls inhabit the owlery, a multi-level tower with perches and nesting boxes, a structure mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration zones. The tower, located near the West Tower, provides ventilation and protection with nests built from straw, a design documented in game data. They breed seasonally, with females laying 2 to 6 eggs, hatching in 30 days, a cycle monitored by staff. Their population exceeds 50, with new owls acquired annually, their numbers maintained by breeding and purchase. Relentlessly, their flight capabilities enable long-distance travel, with speeds up to 40 miles per hour, a trait noted in postal efficiency studies. In Hogwarts Legacy, players send owls for quests, their range limited to in-game areas, a mechanic reflecting real-world limits. Historically, they serve military roles during wizarding wars, delivering orders, a use recorded in ministry archives. Their navigation uses magical guidance, bypassing Muggle detection, a system detailed in security logs. Confidently, owls adapt to individual owners, forming bonds, a relationship documented with Hedwig's loyalty to Harry. They recognize voices and scents, returning to specific perches, a trait tracked in training records. Their care involves daily feeding of rodents and grain, with water provided, a routine noted in owlery logs. Their population stability supports demand, with breeding pairs producing surplus owls, a practice regulated by the ministry. Persistently, their physical traits include silent flight, aided by fringed wing feathers, a feature noted in magical anatomy studies. Their eyesight detects prey at 100 yards, with hearing pinpointing movements, abilities documented in hunting behavior records. Injuries are rare, treated with healing spells, a process tracked in veterinary logs. Their feathers, shed annually, are used in quills, a trade noted in wizarding crafts, their resources sustainable. Steadfastly, owls maintain communication during crises, their service critical during the Second Wizarding War, a role documented in Order of the Phoenix. They delivered warnings and supplies, with Hedwig's death in Deathly Hallows marking a loss, a moment noted in personal accounts. Their reliability under pressure is unmatched, with backup owls mobilized, a strategy recorded in emergency protocols. Their population supports this role, with reserves kept ready. Unwaveringly, their cultural significance ties to wizarding tradition. Their hoots, a symbol of news, a role explored in folklore studies. They appear in magical art, representing wisdom, with owl ownership a status marker, a fact noted in social histories. The castle's magic enhances their range, their population fixed at over 50, their secrets tied to postal magic. Their presence shapes daily life, a legacy preserved by Hogwarts infrastructure. Resolutely, they face minimal threats, their magical protection shielding them from predators, a safeguard noted in environmental records. Muggle interference is prevented by disillusionment charms, a measure documented in security protocols. Their population is monitored, with breeding encouraged to replace losses, a practice tracked in Legacy's owl care mechanics. The tower stands as their domain, their role a cornerstone of connectivity. The hoot softened as morning advanced, its light filling the owlery, and the owls stood as guardians of communication. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' network, their legacy a feathered thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of grain, a mark of their domain, and the castle remained steadfast, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the tower's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted stronghold. Owls and their role as magical messengers form a vital link in Hogwarts operations, their presence a key element of its magical heritage. A gentle ripple disturbed the black lake as dawn broke, its light penetrating the surface to reveal mer-people settlements. The lake, adjacent to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, hosts these aquatic beings, their existence documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter analyzes merpeople, focusing on their physical traits, social structure, and the significance of their underwater songs, with data sourced from wizarding records and game insights. The air carried a faint saline scent, marking their submerged domain. Methodically, merpeople exhibit a humanoid form with fish-like tails, their appearance varying by region, a characteristic noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as XXX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they inhabit freshwater and saltwater, with Hogwarts colony featuring green hair and webbed hands, details recorded in magical zoology texts. Standing 5 to 6 feet tall, they weigh approximately 150 pounds out of water, their tails measuring 4 feet, a trait documented in aquatic studies. Their lifespan exceeds 100 years, with reproduction occurring biennially. Thoroughly, their social structure centers on village life, governed by a chieftain, a hierarchy observed during the Tri-Wizard tournament in Goblet of Fire. Colonies number 50 to 100, with dwellings built from stone and coral, a design mapped in Legacy's underwater zones. They communicate via a complex language, incomprehensible above water, a system noted in linguistic records. Their population at Hogwarts remains stable, estimated at 70, sustained by the lake's ecosystem. Accurately, merpeople reside in the lake's depths, their villages located 20 feet below the surface, a habitat detailed in game exploration data. They construct shelters using magical reinforcement, with entrances guarded by sentinels, a security measure documented in security logs. Breeding involves a 2-year gestation, producing one offspring, a cycle tracked in magical biology texts. Their numbers are maintained by natural growth, with no external recruitment, their habitat protected by enchantments. Relentlessly, their underwater songs serve as communication and defense, a feature highlighted during Harry's task in Goblet of Fire. The songs, a series of trills and hums at 200-300 Hz, travel up to 500 yards, a range noted in acoustic studies. They deter intruders and coordinate hunts, with melodies varying by emotion, a trait recorded in ethnomusicology logs. The song's magic enhances group cohesion, their complexity a barrier to human understanding. Confidently, mer people interact with wizards during sanctioned events. Their role in the Tri-Wizard tournament documented in tournament records. They judged Harry's performance, ensuring fairness, a duty noted in event logs. Their language, Mermish, requires a bubblehead charm for translation, a skill taught in advanced classes, a fact recorded in curriculum data. Their population engages minimally, with diplomatic ties limited to Hogwarts staff, a relationship tracked in interspecies records. Persistently, their physical adaptations include gills and webbed limbs, enabling aquatic survival, a feature noted in anatomical studies. They withstand pressures up to 30 psi with skin-resisting cold, a resilience documented in environmental records. Injuries are rare, treated with seaweed salves, a practice observed in Legacy's healing mechanics. Their tails propel them at 10 miles per hour, a speed recorded in swimming logs, aiding escape. Steadfastly, mer people maintain territorial boundaries, using songs to warn off intruders, a defense noted in security reports. The lake's edge is patrolled, with spears wielded by guards, a tactic documented in combat records. Poaching attempts are repelled, with historical incidents reduced by Hogwarts wards, a shift noted in protection logs. Their population stability reflects this defense, their habitat a secure refuge. Unwaveringly, their cultural significance ties to aquatic lore, their songs featured in wizarding music, a tradition explored in historical texts. They inspire art and tales, with carvings noted in lake artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The castle's magic supports their presence, their population fixed at 70, their secrets preserved by water barriers. Their influence shapes underwater studies, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts' research. Resolutely, they face minimal threats, their habitat shielded by lake enchantments, a protection noted in environmental logs. Muggle detection is prevented by concealment charms, a measure documented in security protocols. Their population is monitored, with breeding encouraged to sustain numbers, a practice tracked in Legacy's aquatic care mechanics. The lake stands as their domain, their role a cornerstone of its ecosystem. The ripple calmed as morning advanced, its light brightening the surface, and the mer people stood as masters of the deep. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' aquatic realm, their legacy a melodic thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of salt, a mark of their domain, and the black lake remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the lake's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. Mer people and their underwater songs establish a unique presence in the Black Lake, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A subtle current stirred the depths of the Black Lake as dawn broke, its light faintly illuminating the murky waters where Grindylows lurked. The lake, a protected expanse near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, harbors these aquatic predators, their presence documented in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines Grindylows, focusing on their physical attributes, behavioral patterns, and the cunning strategies defining their nature. With data sourced from wizarding records and game observations, the air carried a hint of algae, marking their submerged territory. Methodically, Grindylows possess a humanoid shape with green skin, horned heads, and webbed hands, a description noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as XX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they originate from British lakes, standing 2 to 3 feet tall, with weights around 20 pounds. Details recorded in magical zoology texts. Their lifespan averages 30 years, with reproduction occurring annually, their population controlled by natural predation, a fact documented in aquatic studies. Hogwarts Lake hosts an estimated 30 to 40 individuals. Thoroughly, their behavior reflects predatory cunning, ambushing prey with strong grips, a trait showcased during Harry's Triwizard task in Goblet of Fire. They use webbed hands to entangle victims, pulling them underwater, a tactic noted in combat records. They operate in small groups of 3 to 5, coordinating attacks with a preference for shallow depths, a pattern tracked in lake patrols. Their aggression peaks during feeding, requiring caution, a challenge documented by divers. Accurately, Grindylows inhabit the lake's mid-level waters, their nests built from mud and reeds, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's underwater zones. They favor areas with dense vegetation, with colonies centered near the lake's western edge, a location recorded in game data. Breeding involves females laying 10 to 15 eggs, hatching in 6 weeks, a cycle monitored in magical biology logs. Their population is stable, with natural culls by larger predators, their numbers maintained by the lake's ecosystem. Relentlessly, their physical adaptations include powerful limbs, capable of exerting 50 pounds of force, a strength noted in anatomical studies. Their horned heads deter counterattacks, with teeth designed for tearing flesh, a feature documented in feeding records. They withstand cold water temperatures down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, a resilience tracked in environmental logs. Their speed reaches 5 miles per hour underwater, a metric recorded in pursuit data, aiding their ambush tactics. Confidently, Grindylows employ cunning strategies, using vegetation as cover, a behavior observed during Harry's escape in Goblet of Fire. They feign retreat to lure prey, then strike, a tactic noted in predator-prey studies. In Hogwarts Legacy, Players face them with spells like Expelliarmus, their defeat yielding claws, a resource used in potions as detailed in game mechanics. Historically, they pose threats to swimmers, a risk documented in lake safety records. Persistently, their reproduction ensures population stability, with eggs guarded by males, a role noted in social structure logs. Hatchlings mature in 6 months, reaching full size, a growth rate tracked in magical development texts. Hogwarts limits their spread with barrier charms, a measure documented in security protocols. Their population outside the lake exceeds 200 in Britain, their spread contained by ministry regulations, a balance maintained regionally. Steadfastly, Grindylows defend their territory, using group tactics to repel intruders, a defense noted in patrol reports. The lake's edge is monitored, with spears wielded by sentinels, a strategy documented in combat logs. Poaching is minimal, with historical attempts deterred by their aggression, a shift noted in protection records. Their population stability reflects this defense, their habitat a secure hunting ground. Unwaveringly, their claws serve as potion ingredients, enhancing grip strength, a use noted in potions class records. Harvested from deceased Grindylows, each claw measures 2 inches, with a yield of 4 per individual, a process regulated by the ministry. The claw's magical properties degrade post-mortem, requiring fresh collection, a fact detailed in trade logs. Their value supports a minor industry, their population sustained by controlled harvesting. Resolutely, they maintain a cultural role as lake guardians, their cunning featured in wizarding tales, a tradition explored in folklore studies. They inspire cautionary stories, with carvings noted in lake artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The castle's magic supports their presence, their population fixed at 30 to 40, their secrets tied to aquatic survival. Their influence shapes underwater narratives, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts' research. The current settled as morning advanced, its light brightening the surface, and the Grindylows stood as masters of cunning. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' aquatic realm, their legacy a strategic thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of algae, a mark of their domain, and the Black Lake remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the lake's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. Grindylows and their cunning ways establish a formidable presence in the Black Lake, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A slow ripple spread across the Black Lake as dawn broke, its light glinting off the surface where the giant squid surfaced. The lake, a protected body of water near Hogwarts' School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, hosts this enigmatic creature, its presence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter investigates the giant squid, focusing on its physical characteristics, ecological role, and the legends surrounding its lakeside existence. With data sourced from wizarding records and game observations, the air carried a faint, briny odor, marking its aquatic domain. Methodically, the giant squid exhibits a massive cephalopod form with a body length of 30 feet and tentacles extending to 50 feet, a size noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as an XXXX beast by the Ministry of Magic due to its power, it inhabits freshwater lakes, with Hogwarts specimen weighing approximately 2,000 pounds. Details recorded in magical zoology texts. Its lifespan exceeds 100 years. With no observed reproduction, its population singular, a fact documented in aquatic studies. The lake supports one individual, its presence a constant. Thoroughly, its behavior reflects a benign nature, interacting with students and aiding rescues, a role showcased in Goblet of Fire when it assisted Harry. It surfaces near the lake's edge, using tentacles to retrieve objects, a pattern tracked in student accounts. It avoids conflict, retreating to deeper waters, a habit noted in patrol logs. Its activity peaks at dawn and dusk. With a diet of fish and lake vegetation, a preference documented in feeding records. Accurately, the giant squid resides in the lake's central depths, its lair a cavern at 50 feet below, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's underwater zones. It moves to shallow areas seasonally, with sightings near the docks, a location recorded in game data. Its mobility relies on jet propulsion, reaching 15 miles per hour, a speed noted in movement studies. Its population is fixed at 1, with no evidence of migration, its habitat sustained by the lake's magic. Relentlessly, its physical adaptations include 8 arms and 2 longer tentacles, equipped with suckers exerting 100 pounds of force, a strength documented in anatomical records. Its beak crushes prey with a diameter of 6 inches, a feature noted in feeding logs. It withstands pressures up to 50 psi with skin-resisting damage, a resilience tracked in environmental studies. Its color shifts from brown to red, a camouflage trait recorded in observation data, aiding survival. Confidently, the giant squid assists Hogwarts, its actions documented in rescue incidents, such as saving students from the lake. In Legacy, players observe it during quests, its tentacles aiding navigation, a mechanic noted in game logs. Historically, it deterred invaders during the 18th century, a role recorded in castle defense records. Its cooperation is voluntary, with no training, a behavior tracked in interspecies interactions. Persistently, its ecological role balances the lake's ecosystem, consuming excess fish, a function noted in biological surveys. It prevents overpopulation of smaller species, with a daily intake of 50 pounds, a figure documented in dietary logs. Its waste fertilizes algae, supporting merpeople, a cycle tracked in environmental records. Its presence stabilizes the lake, with no natural predators, a balance maintained by its size. Steadfastly, the giant squid maintains territorial awareness, using tentacles to patrol. A defense noted in security reports. The lake's edge is monitored, with students warned against swimming, a precaution documented in safety logs. Historical threats from poachers were repelled, a shift noted in protection records. Its population stability reflects this defense, its habitat a secure refuge. Unwaveringly, its ink serves as a potion ingredient, enhancing concealment, a use noted in potions class records. Harvested during rare surfacings, each sack yields 1 quart, a process regulated by the ministry. The ink's magical properties degrade after 24 hours, requiring fresh collection, a fact detailed in trade logs. Its value supports a minor industry, its population sustained by controlled use. Resolutely, its legends tie to lake mysteries, its size inspiring tales of protection, a tradition explored in folklore studies. It features in student stories, with carvings noted in dock artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The castle's magic supports its presence, its population fixed at 1, its secrets tied to aquatic lore. Its influence shapes lake narratives, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts history. The ripple faded as morning advanced, its light brightening the surface, and the giant squid stood as a guardian of the deep. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and its role defined Hogwarts' aquatic realm, its legacy a legendary thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of brine, a mark of its domain, and the black lake remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the lake's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. The giant squid and its lakeside legends establish a majestic presence in the Black Lake, its lore a vital element of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A soft gurgle rose from the Black Lake as dawn broke, its light casting faint patterns on the water where water spirits dwelled. The lake, a safeguarded expanse near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, harbors these elusive entities, their presence hinted at in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter explores water spirits, focusing on their ethereal forms, behavioral traits, and the mystical currents tied to their existence, with data sourced from wizarding lore and game observations. The air carried a subtle dampness, marking their fluid domain. Methodically, water spirits manifest as shimmering humanoid figures, their bodies composed of liquid, a description noted in magical folklore texts. Classified as XXX beings by the Ministry of Magic, due to their elusive nature, they lack a fixed form, with heights ranging from 3 to 5 feet, a trait documented in ethereal studies. Their existence spans centuries, with no measurable lifespan, their population fluctuating with magical energy, a fact recorded in environmental logs. The lake supports an estimated 10 to 15 spirits, their numbers tied to seasonal shifts. Thoroughly, their behavior centers on guardianship, protecting the lake's magical balance, a role observed in Legacy's aquatic quests. They patrol currents, guiding or repelling intruders, a pattern noted in patrol records. They avoid direct confrontation, dissipating into water when threatened, a tactic documented in defensive studies. Their activity peaks during full moons, with movements tracked in lunar cycle logs, their presence a stabilizing force. Accurately, water spirits inhabit the lake's mid-depths, their domains marked by swirling currents, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's underwater zones. They favor areas with strong magical resonance, with clusters near the merpeople villages, a location recorded in game data. Their manifestation requires magical saturation, with numbers increasing post-rainfall, a correlation noted in meteorological records. Their population stabilizes at 10 to 15, influenced by environmental conditions. Relentlessly, their mystical currents generate localized magic, enhancing the lake's ecosystem, a property noted in environmental magic studies. These currents, measurable at 2 knots, influence water temperature and clarity, a fact documented in ecological logs. They repel dark magic, with a radius of 10 feet, a defense tracked in security reports. Their energy dissipates outside the lake, a limitation recorded in magical field studies, their power contained. Confidently, water spirits interact with mer people, aiding navigation, a cooperation documented in interspecies records. They guide lost swimmers, as seen in student rescue tales, a role noted in safety logs. Their communication uses vibrational pulses detectable by magical sensors, a system tracked in linguistic data. Their population engages selectively, with ties limited to lake inhabitants, a relationship monitored by Hogwarts staff. Persistently, their physical traits include fluid composition, shifting with water conditions, a feature noted in anatomical logs. They resist physical damage, reforming after dispersal, a resilience documented in combat records. Their visibility varies, appearing as mist or solid forms, a trait tracked in observational studies. Their energy source remains untraceable, a mystery noted in magical research, their essence tied to the lake. Steadfastly, water spirits maintain lake boundaries, using currents to deter outsiders, a defense noted in patrol reports. The lake's edge is monitored, with students warned against deep dives, a precaution documented in safety protocols. Historical intrusions were repelled, a shift noted in protection records. Their population stability reflects this guardianship, their habitat a secure sanctuary. Unwaveringly, their essence serves as a potion enhancer, amplifying water-based spells, a use noted in potions class records. Collected during rare manifestations, 1 ounce is harvested per event, a process regulated by the ministry. The essence's magical properties fade after 12 hours, requiring immediate use, a fact detailed in trade logs. Its value supports a niche industry, their population sustained by controlled extraction. Resolutely, their legends tie to lake mysticism, their currents inspiring tales of guidance, a tradition explored in folklore studies. They feature in merpeople songs, with artifacts noting their presence, a fact documented in archaeological records. The castle's magic sustains them, their population fixed at 10 to 15, their secrets linked to aquatic magic. Their influence shapes lake lore, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts history. The gurgle quieted as morning advanced, its light brightening the surface, and the water spirits stood as keepers of currents. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' aquatic realm, their legacy a mystical thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of dampness, a mark of their domain, and the black lake remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the lake's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. Water spirits and their mystical currents establish an ethereal presence in the Black Lake, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A faint luminescence flickered across the Black Lake shore as dawn broke, its light mingling with the glow of moon frogs. The lake, a protected area near Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, supports these nocturnal creatures, their existence implied in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter universe and detailed in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter analyzes moonfrogs, focusing on their physical features, ecological habits, and the glowing trails tied to their behavior, with data sourced from wizarding lore and game mechanics. The air carried a mild, earthy scent, marking their lakeside habitat. Methodically, moonfrogs possess a compact amphibian form, measuring 4 to 6 inches long, with translucent skin emitting a pale blue light, a trait noted in magical fauna records. Classified as XX beasts by the Ministry of Magic due to their harmless nature, they originate from northern European wetlands, weighing less than half a pound, details documented in zoological texts. Their lifespan averages 5 years, with reproduction occurring monthly during full moons, a cycle recorded in breeding logs. The lake's population is estimated at 100 to 150 thriving in moist conditions. Thoroughly, their behavior revolves around nocturnal activity, emerging at dusk to feed, a pattern observed in Legacy's nighttime quests. They consume small insects and algae, using sticky tongues, a habit noted in dietary records. They avoid predators by blending with moonlight, a defense tracked in survival studies. Their activity peaks under lunar influence, with movements monitored in lunar cycle logs, their presence a natural rhythm. Accurately, moonfrogs inhabit the lake's shallow edges and marshy banks, their burrows dug into mud, a habitat mapped in Hogwarts Legacy's exploration zones. They prefer areas with reflective water, with colonies near the northern shore, a location recorded in game data. Breeding involves females laying 20 to 30 eggs per cycle, hatching in 2 weeks, a process documented in magical biology texts. Their population fluctuates with moisture, stabilized at 100 to 150 by lake conditions. Relentlessly, their glowing trails result from bioluminescent skin, emitting light at 450 nanometers, a feature noted in chemical studies. The trails, lasting 10 minutes, guide mates and deter predators, a function tracked in behavioral logs. They activate under stress or during mating, with intensity measured at 1.5 lumens, a metric recorded in optical data. The glow fades with daylight, a trait documented in circadian studies, their illumination a survival tool. Confidently, moon frogs contribute to the lake's ecosystem, their light-attracting insects, a role noted in ecological surveys. They support food chains, with tadpoles consumed by fish, a cycle documented in biological records. In Legacy, players collect their glow for potions, a mechanic noted in game logs with no harm to populations. Historically, they aided navigation, a use recorded in wizarding travel logs, their role practical. Persistently, their reproduction ensures population growth, with eggs guarded by males, a behavior noted in social structure logs. Tadpoles mature in 3 months, reaching adulthood, a growth rate tracked in magical development texts. Hogwarts limits their spread with boundary charms, a measure documented in security protocols. Their population outside the lake exceeds 500 in Britain, their range contained by ministry regulations, a balance maintained regionally. Steadfastly, moon frogs maintain territorial boundaries, using glow to signal rivals, a defense noted in patrol reports. The lake's edge is monitored, with students warned against disturbance, a precaution documented in safety logs. Historical collection attempts were deterred, a shift noted in protection records. Their population stability reflects this defense, their habitat a secure breeding ground. Unwaveringly, their mucus serves as a potion base, enhancing luminescent spells, a use noted in potions class records. Harvested during full moons, 1 teaspoon is collected per frog, a process regulated by the ministry. The mucus's magical properties last 24 hours, requiring fresh use, a fact detailed in trade logs. Its value supports a minor industry, their population sustained by controlled extraction. Resolutely, their legends tie to lunar magic, their glow-inspiring tales of guidance, a tradition explored in folklore studies. They feature in student stories, with carvings noted in shore artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The castle's magic supports their presence, their population fixed at 100 to 150, their secrets linked to lunar cycles. Their influence shapes lake narratives, a legacy upheld by Hogwarts history. The luminescence dimmed as morning advanced, its light brightening the shore, and the moon frogs stood as beacons of the night. The castle stirred, the sound of waking students rising, and their role defined Hogwarts' aquatic realm, their legacy a glowing thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of earth, a mark of their domain, and the Black Lake remained firm, its place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemi, distant, might sense the shore's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted territory. Moon frogs and their glowing trails establish a luminous presence in the Black Lake, their lore a vital element of Hogwarts' magical heritage. A steady wind swept across the open plains beyond Hogwarts as dawn broke, its light revealing hippogriffs in mid-flight. The wider wizarding world, encompassing regions beyond the castle, supports these majestic creatures, their presence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines hippogriffs, focusing on their physical capabilities, migratory patterns, and the free-spirited nature of their flights. With data sourced from wizarding records and game observations, the air carried a trace of wild grass, marking their expansive habitat. Methodically, hippogriffs feature a hybrid build, with eagle-like front halves and horse-like rear halves, a structure noted in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Classified as X666 beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they originate from Europe, standing up to 8 feet tall, with weights around 500 pounds, details recorded in magical zoology texts. Their wingspan reaches 20 feet, supporting flight, a trait documented in anatomical studies. Their lifespan extends 30 to 40 years, with breeding occurring biennially, their population estimated at 1,000 globally. Thoroughly, their behavior highlights independence, preferring solitary or small group flights, a pattern observed in Legacy's open-world zones. They migrate seasonally, covering 200 miles, a range noted in migration logs. They respond to respect with a bowing ritual, as seen with Buckbeak in Prisoner of Azkaban, a behavior tracked in training records. Their activity peaks at dawn, with flights lasting hours, a habit documented in observational data, reflecting their free spirit. Accurately, hippogriffs inhabit open terrains and forests, their nests built on elevated ground, a habitat mapped in global wizarding surveys. They favor northern Europe, with colonies in Scotland and Scandinavia, a distribution recorded in game data. Breeding involves a 6-week incubation with 1 to 3 eggs laid, a cycle monitored in magical biology texts. Their population remains stable, with 200 in Britain, sustained by protected reserves, their range tracked by the Ministry. Relentlessly, their flight capabilities enable speeds of 40 miles per hour, a strength noted in aerial studies. In Hogwarts Legacy, players ride hippogriffs like Highwing, covering 10 miles per flight, a mechanic documented in game logs. Historically, they served as mounts in wizarding wars, a role recorded in military archives. Their endurance supports 100-mile journeys, a metric tracked in travel records, showcasing their freedom. Confidently, hippogriffs adapt to varied environments, nesting in cliffs or trees, a flexibility noted in habitat logs. They feed on insects and small mammals, with a daily intake of 5 pounds, a diet documented in nutritional records. In Legacy, players manage their care, ensuring flight readiness, a process tracked in game mechanics. Their population thrives in wild reserves, with 50% domesticated, a balance noted in ownership statistics. Persistently, their reproduction ensures species continuity, with males courting via aerial displays, a behavior observed in mating logs. Females guard eggs fiercely, with hatching success at 70%, a rate tracked in breeding records. The Ministry regulates breeding, limiting permits, a policy documented in conservation data. Their population growth is slow, With 50 foals annually in Britain, a figure monitored by wildlife teams. Steadfastly, hippogriffs maintain territorial skies, using flight to deter rivals, a defense noted in patrol reports. Open areas are patrolled, with students warned against intrusion, a precaution documented in safety logs. Historical poaching attempts were reduced by reserves, a shift noted in protection records. Their population stability reflects this defense, their habitat a secure flight zone. Unwaveringly, their feathers serve as quill material, valued for durability, a use noted in crafts records. Harvested from molting, each feather measures 12 inches, with a yield of 20 per year, a process regulated by the ministry. The feather's magical properties enhance writing, a fact detailed in trade logs. Their value supports a modest industry, their population sustained by controlled collection. Resolutely, their legends tie to freedom, their flights inspiring tales of adventure, a tradition explored in folklore studies. They feature in wizarding art, symbolizing liberty, with carvings noted in reserve artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The global magic sustains them, their population fixed at 1,000, their secrets linked to flight magic. Their influence shapes aerial narratives, a legacy upheld by wizarding culture. The wind calmed as morning advanced, its light brightening the plains, and the hippogriffs stood as emblems of flight. The world stirred, the sound of distant activity rising, and their role defined the wizarding landscape, their legacy a soaring thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of grass, a mark of their domain, and the open lands remain firm, their place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the plain's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek, a faint mark of this enchanted realm. Hippogriffs and their free-spirited flights establish a dynamic presence in the wider wizarding world, their lore a vital element of its magical heritage. A soft rustle stirred the undergrowth beyond Hogwarts as dawn broke, its light revealing nifflers foraging for shiny objects. The wider wizarding world, stretching across Europe and beyond, supports these burrowing creatures, their presence chronicled in J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and expanded in Hogwarts Legacy. This subchapter examines nifflers, focusing on their physical traits, behavioral tendencies, and their obsessive love for treasures, with data sourced from wizarding records and game observations. The air carried a faint metallic scent, marking their treasure hunting domain. Methodically, nifflers possess a small mole-like form with black fur and long snouts, a description noted in magical fauna text. Classified as XX beasts by the Ministry of Magic, they originate from Britain, measuring 12 to 18 inches long, with weights around 5 pounds, details recorded in zoological studies. Their lifespan averages 8 to 10 years, with reproduction occurring annually, their population estimated at 2,000 globally, a figure documented in wildlife surveys. The wizarding world supports scattered colonies, with 300 in Britain. Thoroughly, their behavior centers on treasure seeking, digging for coins and jewelry. a trait showcased in Newt Scamander's case in Fantastic Beasts. They use sensitive snouts to detect metal, a skill noted in foraging records. They hoard items in pouches, retrieving up to 50 objects daily, a capacity tracked in observational logs. Their activity peaks at dusk, with burrows expanding nightly, a pattern documented in habitat studies reflecting their treasure obsession. Accurately, nifflers inhabit forests and gardens, their burrows dug into soft soil, a habitat mapped in global wizarding surveys. They favor areas near human settlements, with colonies in Scotland and Ireland, a distribution recorded in game data. Breeding involves females laying 4 to 6 eggs, hatching in 3 weeks, a cycle monitored in magical biology texts. Their population remains stable, with 50 in Hogwarts vicinity, sustained by controlled environments, their range tracked by the Ministry. Relentlessly, their physical adaptations include sharp claws, capable of digging 10 inches per minute, a strength noted in anatomical records. Their pouches stretch to hold 100 cubic inches, a feature documented in storage studies. They withstand cold down to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, a resilience tracked in environmental logs. Their speed reaches 8 miles per hour on land, a metric recorded in pursuit data aiding treasure hunts. Confidently, nifflers adapt to captivity, trained for treasure recovery, a role noted in Scamander's work. In Hogwarts Legacy, players use them to find loot, their efficiency documented in game mechanics with a 90% success rate. Historically, they aided prospectors, a use recorded in mining archives. Their obedience requires firm handling, a technique tracked in training logs, showcasing their practical value. Persistently, their reproduction ensures population growth, with eggs guarded by females, a behavior noted in social structure logs. Hatchlings mature in 6 months, reaching full size, a growth rate tracked in magical development texts. The Ministry regulates breeding, limiting permits, a policy documented in conservation data. Their population increase is steady, with 100 juveniles annually in Britain, a figure monitored by wildlife teams. Steadfastly, nifflers maintain territorial burrows, using scent to mark boundaries, a defense noted in patrol reports. Forest edges are patrolled, with wizards warned against theft, a precaution documented in safety logs. Historical poaching attempts were reduced by reserves, a shift noted in protection records. Their population stability reflects this defense. Their habitat, a secure foraging zone. Unwaveringly, their fur serves as a cloak lining, enhancing warmth, a use noted in crafts records. Harvested from molting, each pelt yields 10 square inches, with a yield of 1 per year, a process regulated by the Ministry. The fur's magical properties resist moisture, a fact detailed in trade logs. Its value supports a minor industry, their population sustained by controlled collection. Resolutely, their legends tie to wealth, their treasure hunts inspiring tales of fortune, a tradition explored in folklore studies. They feature in wizarding stories, with carvings noted in burrow artifacts, a fact documented in archaeological records. The global magic sustains them, their population fixed at 2,000, their secrets linked to hoarding magic. Their influence shapes treasure narratives, a legacy upheld by wizarding culture. The rustle quieted as morning advanced, its light brightening the undergrowth, and the nifflers stood as seekers of riches. The world stirred, the sound of distant activity rising, and their role defined the wizarding landscape. Their legacy a gleaming thread in its fabric. The air carried the trace of metal, a mark of their domain, and the wild lands remained firm, their place in the wizarding world firmly established. Artemy, distant, might sense the undergrowth's resonance in his thoughts, the scar on his cheek a faint mark of this enchanted realm. Nifflers and their love for treasures establish a resourceful presence in the wider wizarding world, their lore a vital element of its magical heritage. Puffskeins, small, round creatures covered in soft, custard-colored fur, are cherished in the wizarding world for their unassuming charm and gentle nature. Originating in magical households across Britain, they are documented in wizarding texts like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander. Their appeal lies in their simplicity, thriving as pets among witches and wizards for centuries. Puffskeins are spherical, typically the size of a small grapefruit, with no discernible limbs, moving by rolling or bouncing. Their fur, silky and warm, attracts children who often cuddle them, as noted in Scamander's records. They emit a low, humming sound when content, a trait that soothes household tensions, making them popular in busy wizarding homes. Their diet is remarkably unfussy. They eat scraps, from leftover porridge to lint, using a long, thin tongue to scavenge, as observed in Hogsmeade homes. Breeding is straightforward, with puffskeins producing litters of up to 10 pufflings, as seen in the records of the magical menagerie in Diagon Alley. Their care requires minimal effort, though overfeeding can lead to excessive humming, occasionally annoying owners, per anecdotal accounts from wizarding families. The Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures classifies them as non-threatening, requiring no special permits, a status unchanged since the 18th century. Their gentle magic lies in their calming effect, believed to stem from a natural aura that dampens stress. Though no formal study, such as those conducted by the Committee for the Advancement of Magical Research, confirms this, puffskeins have been gifted to young witches and wizards to teach responsibility, as seen in the Weasley family's use of them as starter pets. Their presence in households, from Godric's Hollow to Tinworth, underscores their role as quiet companions. Puffskeins' simplicity belies their cultural significance. Wizarding folklore recorded in the tales of Beedle the Bard occasionally references them as symbols of humility, contrasting with flashier creatures like phoenixes. Their enduring popularity, evidenced by consistent sales in magical pet shops, reflects a wizarding appreciation for understated magic, a trait that binds families across generations. Phoenixes, majestic birds with vibrant plumage of red, gold, and orange, are among the rarest creatures in the wizarding world. known for their regenerative powers and enchanting songs. Documented in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander and referenced in historical wizarding texts, phoenixes originate from ancient magical traditions, with sightings reported across Europe, Asia, and Egypt. Phoenixes are large, swan-sized birds with long, shimmering tails and piercing eyes. Their feathers, imbued with magical properties, are used in high-quality wands, as noted by Ollivander's records, with 2 feathers from Fawkes, Albus Dumbledore's phoenix, powering wands of exceptional strength. Their most distinctive trait is their ability to regenerate, bursting into flames upon death and rising anew from the ashes, a cycle observed in Dumbledore's office. This rebirth, detailed in Scamander's work, occurs every few decades, with the phoenix emerging as a chick before maturing rapidly. Their diet consists of herbs and sap, with a preference for rare plants like dittany, as recorded in herbology texts from Hogwarts. Phoenix tears possess potent healing properties, capable of curing wounds and neutralizing poisons, as demonstrated by Fawkes during incidents at Hogwarts in the 1990s. Their song, a haunting melody, uplifts listeners, instilling courage, as noted in accounts from the Order of the Phoenix. The Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures classifies phoenixes as XXX not for danger, but due to their rarity and the difficulty of domestication. Phoenixes bond with individuals of strong moral character, as seen with Fawkes's loyalty to Dumbledore. Their presence in wizarding history, from ancient Egyptian amulets to medieval alchemical texts, underscores their symbolic role as emblems of hope and renewal. Rare encounters, such as those reported in the Forbidden Forest, suggest wild populations exist, though no confirmed colonies are documented. Phoenix's cultural significance is profound, representing resilience in wizarding lore. Their feathers, tails, and tears, traded sparingly and diagonally, are prized in magical crafts per ministry regulations. Their melodies, heard during Hogwarts' darkest moments, remain a symbol of light, binding the wizarding community through shared reverence for their extraordinary magic. Measles, feline-like creatures with spotted or speckled coats and tufted tails, are valued in the wizarding world for their sharp intelligence and uncanny ability to sense danger. Native to Britain and documented in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander, measles have long been kept as companions by witches and wizards for their loyalty and perceptive nature. Measles resemble large cats, growing to the size of a small lynx, with keen eyes and agile bodies. Their distinctive feature is their intuition, allowing them to detect untrustworthy individuals, as noted in Ministry of Magic records. This trait makes them prized by those requiring security, such as Department of Mysteries employees. Measles can interbreed with domestic cats, producing part Measle offspring like Hermione Granger's pet Crookshanks, whose intelligence and aggression toward threats, observed at Hogwarts in the 1990s, reflect Measle ancestry. Their diet includes small rodents and magical insects, such as bowtruckles, which they hunt with precision, as seen in rural wizarding gardens. Measles are independent, requiring little care beyond space to roam, though their territorial nature can lead to clashes with other pets, per Diagon Alley pet shop logs. The Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures classifies them as XXX due to their ability to defend themselves with sharp claws, though they pose no significant threat when bonded to an owner. Kneasel's intuition, while not fully studied by the Committee for Experimental Charms, is believed to stem from a natural sensitivity to magical auras, enabling them to track suspicious activity. They often guide their owners, as recorded in cases where Kneasels alerted wizards to concealed dangers in Nocturne Alley. Their role as protectors extends to wizarding folklore, where they are symbols of vigilance, referenced in Hogwarts, a history. Kneasel's subtle magic strengthens wizarding households from Hogsmeade to Otteries and Catchpole. Their presence, evidenced by consistent demand in magical pet markets, reflects their status as trusted allies. Their quiet watchfulness, blending feline grace with magical instinct, cements their place in the wizarding world as guardians of the unseen,